Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to yet another top secret review. This time, I have not just one, two, but a three-part top secret SI special investigations campaign, I guess you'd call it. It's a three-part module series set on the fictional Isle of San Cristobal, and it's everything you'd expect. A resort island on the verge of revolution. It's got all the tropes: drug smuggling, voodoo cults, terrorists, military coups. Did I say that? Gambling. It's got it all, but it is a slog. Each of these is about 60 pages, and I kid you not, half of it is NPC dossiers, which really, they've done all the work for you. So if you want a campaign set in the Caribbean, you're good to go. It's got it all, but it is a bit of a slog. The first one starts with a murder mystery, and that it's also designed kind of like the original top secret module. I forget the name of it now. It's I think Operation Pisces, where it tries to get you to become very familiar and acquainted with the little town, and that's what this does in spades. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of repetitive information in the second and third module to get you to be really familiar with the island. And the island seems to just get bigger and bigger as you go. As a matter of fact, I have in number 2 a really nice map of the island, but the module itself has expanded views of different areas of the island. Like I said, this place doesn't really exist. It was created for the module, and like I said, it's got it all, including a big showdown at the end, where the players are trying to, little spoiler, prevent a war between Russia and the United States with the help of a miniature version of the Cuban Missile Crisis, where this time they actually shoot one off at us. And my bookmark. It's like, what is that? But unless you're really going to go into this, and really, I would really recommend reading all three. Starting 1, 2, 3, and then go back to number 1 as you run it. You're going to have a lot of NPCs to juggle. I mean, a lot of NPCs, probably close to 30 or 40 NPCs that you're really going to have to get to know and run them really well, because Top Secret is a game of interpersonal conflict and relationships, and in order to run this right, you really, really need to get those characters down. They're not just, going to be, one scene and gone kind of thing. They're going to come back, and unfortunately the players are going to have to deal with a lot of them in, very permanent fashion. And the one thing that this game is actually lacking is a little bit more gunplay, hand-to-hand combat, that sort of thing, because there really isn't a lot of it. Not as much as you'd expect, despite what you see on the covers. That's almost a verbatim of the big showdown at the end. There just really isn't as much of this as you'd expect. At least in my opinion, there are some great car and speedboat chases in the game, which are all handled perfectly with flow charts to keep you going. Now, mind you, it's an espionage game, so a fair amount of buying into the railroad is going to be required by everybody, or you're going to just be ending up with something that you don't need those for. The modules, you could just run a sandbox with a a little mission here, a little mission there, but that's not what this is. This is the full grand tour of the island on the rails, And unless you're not really up to that or not into that, I'd stay away from it. There are plenty of other top secret modules, and yeah, you could run these independent, or at least the first one you could run by itself. Then maybe come back to number 2 and number 3 if the players were interested. But I would recommend letting the players know that they're going to be in for a long haul on this one. They're probably going to be stuck on the island for the entirety of the campaign until you get to the big showdown, in which case, if you'd like to go somewhere else, I highly recommend it. And if you wanted to take a little break between modules, that wouldn't be an awful suggestion. And of course, there is the possibility that you're going to end up with a total party kill at several junctions along the way, and your players may not want to go back to the island. I would, be very careful with that, or have them run multiple characters throughout the campaign so that they can, get a little bit more of a break from the obvious railroad. Get them to do little things here and there, maybe even leave the island. There is a little bit of opportunity to leave the island in one of the adventures where the players go searching for a downed plane for reasons I'm not going to spoil them here, but they did a great job on this one. It's just between the fact that it is very much set in the 80s, and running it now in the 21st century would just not work out. You're definitely going to have to stick it, maybe even run it in the 70s. But it's going to take a lot of buy-in for the players, and if you guys are up for that, I highly recommend it. But just be warned, it's got some pitfalls and it's got some snags along the way. Not my favorite of all the top secret SI adventure ideas. It's probably in the lower half of the 1 to 10 rating scale. Maybe a 6, 7, maybe if you got the right group of people. That always makes a big difference. And running a top secret adventure is not the easiest buy-in for players these days, or even game masters. You don't hear a lot about it. And I'm about done with the top secret review. I've got Thursday and Friday. Friday I will give my summation of all the espionage games I've reviewed over the last 2 months and give you my recommendation, which is probably not going to be what you think. The game that I would most like to play is, well, we'll just have to wait for Friday, but tomorrow I'm doing a special review on the one and only Choose Your Own Adventure top secret book. It's a big hefty thing, and it's not just a read and go to this page, go to that page. There's die rolling and character creation and all that, all rolled up into the final bug. I think that's what it's called. And it was a lot of fun, but it was made again for a time where you didn't have the internet, you didn't have computers at your beck and call or smartphones. So spending the time to solo role play that particular book is more of a curiosity, or something best for a situation where you just don't have access to all the modern conveniences with the internet and video games and things like that. While there aren't too many video games espionage related, you got one here, and it'd probably take you the better part of a week to get through, unless you just sat down for 8 hours or what have you. You had nothing better to do. But it's an interesting piece of history for the world of espionage gaming, TSR games as well, and I'll be reviewing that tomorrow, and followed by Friday I'll give you my final word on espionage games. I didn't get to every single book I own. There's one other that I should have read and reviewed sooner, called Commando, and I didn't. I already said everything that needs to be said about that sort of an espionage game. And then the 3 books that I don't have that I will get, one was just an equipment guide, so who needs a review on that? You just go buy yourself a sportsman's guide, or or a Soldier of Fortune magazine, and you got what you need for that. Is Soldier of Fortune still a thing? I don't know. It's been a while, but that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this trip into the world of Cloak and Dagger, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with 2 videos. I've got an extra special Thursday night paint and chill stream. I hope you guys will tune in for that. But until then, folks, have a great day, great evening. We love you guys. I will see you tomorrow, and as always, happy trails.